Okay, we're recording.
All right.
Okay, hi everybody. It's Jenny here. It is Wednesday, March 4th. I've got my friend April Kever here. She's a Star Diamond coach from Fort Wayne. As you know, we're going to do a little interview as we've done the past couple of months. I'm going to do that interview with April today. But before we get started, I just wanted to say, if you did not see my video in the team page yesterday, super proud of everybody and their efforts in February. Our team was able to change over 150 lives in the month of February, and I think that's pretty cool. So give yourself a pat on the back, and let's do it again this month. So announcements will be posted on the website and in the team page later this week. So we're going to go ahead and get started with April. So April's getting ready to go teach some class, and before she goes, we're going to ask her just a series of questions. I know some of you have sent me questions to ask her, and I have them here in front of me. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So April, why don't you just start off by telling us like how you became a coach and what your story is with Beachbody?
Hi, everybody. I got started with Beachbody after I got certified in Turbo Kick from Julie in 2009. She was posting about the Shakeology stuff every day on Facebook, and I thought, okay, maybe I should try it. And I signed up as a coach for the discount. Didn't know anything about the business at all. I did nothing with the business for about 18 months. And then I just kind of slowly kind of eased into it. And this was dinosaur age, before challenge packs, before challenge groups and all that other stuff. So it was like in the beginning stages of coaching. So that's how I got into it. Cool.
So where are you now? You're a Star Diamond coach, but you have three.
I actually have 3 diamonds on one side, and until they're evened out, you don't get to count them. My husband's close to diamond, and I have a couple worker coaches on his side too. So I'm getting there. My goal by the end of the year is to be at least 7-star diamond. If everything pans out, you know how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. I think 2015 is going to be a big year for a lot of us that have
been, it's like our time has come. So
that's right. So, okay. So what would you say you would attribute most to your success so far in the business?
I would say my success with the business really changed. I've always been on Facebook and things like that, and I've been in the fitness world, but most of my customers are not clients of mine. Most of my customers have come from social media. I was an artist and designer, children's clothes designer before Facebook existed, and a lot of those people that I was friends with then transitioned over to Facebook, and I kind of slowly, just by posting positive things, by posting, health and nutrition tips, slowly kind of got my foot in the door, and people watching to see, they're like, oh, this girl's about fitness. She's not just about fitness every Monday, but she's about fitness all the time, or health and fitness, and not crazy. But I will say that the tide really turned when I committed to Insanity. I never really did a program start to finish. And once I did Insanity, and that was in, the year that we did Disney World as our Success Club trip, I did it with Shanti and his whole entourage of people. But that was where I was posting, and people were seeing, okay, what are these workouts? So not only did they see them on TV, but now they were seeing them on here, and actual people can do them. And so I might be, I did it every day, and I posted it every day, and it just was consistent. So that's where I really saw a difference, where people started trusting me more and reaching out to me versus me going to them.
Right. No, that's a cool point. And that's something that we have been focusing on too a lot in our training too, is the idea of attraction marketing and attracting people to you versus having to seek people. Mm-hmm. So you would say then that you're heavily social media based.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So tell us where you are. I know you're on Facebook. I know you're on Pinterest.
I'm on Facebook, on Pinterest, and on Instagram. I would say Facebook and Instagram are my 2 favorites. I love Instagram. And then it goes to Facebook. So I attach it. I don't make it more complicated than I need to. I also, hashtags is a big thing, but I don't post my picture with all my hashtags in my original picture on Instagram. I might post one hashtag and then comment the rest of the hashtags, because Facebook and hashtags, we don't like each other. So I don't care, but other people get annoyed. So sure. I leave all the hashtags to Instagram and Twitter and things like that. And right. Pinterest. I love Pinterest because I'm a crafty person. So
yeah,
I can get sucked into that.
So for those of us, because there aren't a lot of people on our team who have kind of gone into the Pinterest world. And a couple of us were at the Platinum Edge back in the fall, and forget the girl's name, Natalie Jill, I think,
Yeah.
did a whole lot of talking about Pinterest and the value in Pinterest for health and fitness. What has been your experience with it? I mean, I know you said it's not your favorite necessarily, but do you consider it a good platform to be on?
I think that my market of women that I attract are on Pinterest. They're on Pinterest not for fitness necessarily. They certainly pin a lot of health and fitness things. I don't know if they actually do them. There's a difference between pinning and doing, which is a whole other conversation. But the moms the people that I attract and people that I connect to are on Pinterest. So it makes sense to put something in Pinterest that would relate to me or my business or get those people looking at my stuff. The majority of my pins are probably food, some exercise. You just got to be careful with exercise because a lot of those things are pinned to other people's websites. So I always check first to make sure that what I might repin is not attached to another Beachbody coach's website. Because why would I send them to their website? That's awesome. Hello, Melanie Mitro, and a bazillion. Everybody goes to her site. She's brilliant. She kind of got that Beachbody 21-day fix, all the what this is and that. So a lot of people go to her for that, and that's why she's probably top coach. It doesn't necessarily mean that nobody else can put their foot in the door there, but I always check to make sure what the link is going to go to first, because I want it to make sense for me. And I'm okay with creating my own stuff to put on there that would link to, say, my website or a blog, or it doesn't link to Facebook yet. I wish it really did, because that would be awesome, but it doesn't. So, that's, I guess, the pins that I do, I need to get better at posting things to my website instead of just like pinning stuff that I want to go do later. But again, my market of women and moms my age are on Pinterest. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a thing that I see that they're pinning these exercises and this is and that's and how to lose this in 5 days and I'm like, let's pin something that actually works, people. Right. Okay. Because that stuff that just sits in their virtual Pinterest boards and they don't actually do it. So.
Right. That's a good point.
Answer the question.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to backtrack a little bit to where you were saying that like your business kind of changed and your commitment to the business changed when you started Insanity. One thing that I know that you do, but I'd like for you to share with my team is specifically how you keep people, I guess you could say, witnessing your journey as you go through a program. So I know that of all the coaches that I follow I'm a Facebook girl, so I'm going to say Facebook. But of all the coaches that I follow on Facebook, I know I can count on knowing where you are in a program at any given day. So yeah. Can you just tell us about how you make sure that people are knowing that your proof the products work?
I videotape I don't tape my workouts, but I do like the burst mode. So I take pictures of all my workouts. And that's what I started with doing with Insanity. I think it was a recommendation from Shalene. I think I was following maybe Shalene or something like that. And obviously she's got way better means and things that she does her videos now, but that just worked for me. I would just set my phone out, do my workout. After my workout or hours later, really, I might go back and pick 5 or 6 photos that turned out, because there's a lot that don't turn out and look ridiculous. And then the dog gets in the way and it's a whole thing. But I would post them, put a little collage together, maybe put something like what day I'm on. Definitely in my comment section, I might post about what the workout was, how it made me feel, and how it was progressing. So like not all the workouts are perfect. They're not all pretty. If you've done Insanity Max 30, you know that. But I just kind of be honest, and just let them know. And sometimes I let them know that I may have skipped a day because of my class schedule. So, and that bothers me sometimes because I want to keep up with my groups, but it's stupid to do so. So I have to like step back and be like, okay, I don't have to do this. I've done enough already. I don't want to hurt myself just to prove a point. So I just post it every day on Facebook. I try to post my workout pictures toward the evening. It seems like they get a little bit more hits as far as Instagram goes and connecting it to Facebook in the evenings versus in the afternoon. But I would say consistency is key. If I'm not doing a workout that day, you might see me post a picture. It might be an older picture that I put some really cute font word graphics on, and it could be motivational. So there's always something that you can post about health and fitness. It doesn't necessarily have to be about me either. It could be about somebody else's success within the program. It could be shouting out another coach or challenger, but something that they know that I'm doing something. So.
Well, that brings up that's one thing I definitely want to talk to you about. So for those of you who don't know you, you do teach a lot of classes. So I want you to tell us what the week looks like for you each week. And then more specifically, you don't have to get super detailed, but how many classes you teach and what it is your schedule looks like, because I think we're going to have a good, Erica Buzzard's going to speak on our next, on our next one. And, she works full-time, she teaches full-time in school. And then we have the opposite to the stay-at-home mom, like Geraldine, who's home all the time. And I think you're a good in-betweener. Like, you're constantly teaching classes, you're on the go. So I want you to talk about what your week looks like, but then also, how do you fit your business into your day? Like, what does your day look like?
Okay. I'm counting my classes. This is a normal week for me, is I have Mondays I'm an early boot camp. I have a boot camp in the morning at 6:30 in the morning. So I'm a morning person by nature. So I am up every morning, like at 4:45 or 5:15 if I'm pushing it. But I really like my bulletproof coffee, so I want to get that in before I leave. And that gets me going through the day. So I teach it 4 days a week in the morning at 6:30 in the morning. And then I will, on 2 nights a week, I have evening classes. But in all, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 classes that I teach a week. That's some people's month as far as workouts go. So that's a lot. And that's 7 PIOs. So I teach 7 PIOs in 3 days. Yes, 3 days, 7 PIOs. And that's a lot of PIOs. So that's my workout. That's my work. That's like my job, is what I go do, is when I go teach my classes. I don't always connect. Like, I connect with people there, but I don't really talk Beachbody at my job, at my classes. For one, it's a conflict of interest sometimes. And really, I sometimes have to get out the door to go to the next one. So I don't have a lot of time to talk, but I will sometimes direct them to my social media and say, hey, let's connect on Facebook. And that can open the door somewhere else. Even if it's like, a mom at a party, sometimes you can do that. You're like, hey, are you on Facebook? Let's connect on Facebook. You never have to mention Beachbody or anything like that. Just get them to your page. I work my business about 45 minutes before I leave. So in the morning, I will post, thanks to my challenge groups, I will post on Instagram most of the time. I will post Coach Basics. I will post kind of like get the day started. Most of the time you will see a post from me on Facebook by 5:45, 6:15 in the morning every day. You can obviously, schedule those, but that's what I do. And then I teach my classes, and I come home and I do a little business, and then I eat breakfast because it's important. And then I will do like 1 or 2 hours in the middle of the day on business. And then I'm doing other stuff around the house, because I know I'm a work at home mom, and I probably should clean my house more, but I really, whatever. I do some work here and I go do whatever. But really business picks up at 3:00 in the afternoon for me. Like, I feel like when people get home from work or school, or it seems like everybody's off at 3 or something, that's when things start to pick up. And so I will kind of look at that. I'll get the kids where they need to go. My daughter's a dancer, so she dances every day of the week, and I get her to dance, and then I work my business. And then I take a couple hours off where I'm like, not really, I'm doing family stuff. And then maybe, like, I'm an early bird, so that means I go to bed early. I'm exhausted. Like, the surge about killed me on Monday because I was so tired. But I will work a little bit, and then I just let it go until the next day. So I guess I've never really timed how many hours I'm working my business, but it's sometimes a little bit here and a little bit there. Connecting with people. My challenge group right now is amazing. So they're always posting, which is awesome. And they're all also commenting. So I don't always have to do all the work there, or I'll get to their post later. I might like it and then comment later. So depending.
Gotcha.
Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, that's good. And I know that you and I have talked about this before, but I want to make sure that we say it out loud here too, that how many classes were you teaching like 2 years ago? 3 years ago? Was it more than this?
Yeah, it was. Well, I'm teaching too much. Let me just say that right now. I'm teaching classes right now. So, and we're not going to tell Julie, because then she won't talk to me anymore. But I I was teaching like 15, 16 classes a week.
Yeah.
And it was so much, it was exhausting. And you can't really get a control of your nutrition and things like that when you're teaching that many classes. It's just not really possible. And really, even teaching 11 or 13 is a little too much. And so I am looking at taking a few of those out. I've already kind of talked to some of the people, and my goal is by August to take 2 locations out that would not require me to travel so far away. 2 of them are in New Haven twice a week, and it's pretty far. So I kind of need to drop that.
Sure.
So that's the plan. But then again, some of the classes open the door to meeting new people. So I got to kind of play that role of like, is this going to pay off for me? Like, no, and I'm not teaching the class just to get customers, but it should still make sense that it, flows with what I'm trying to accomplish. So,
right.
Yeah.
And I remember we had that we've had a couple conversations where we've talked about that, because when I opened the studio, I was teaching, I think it was like 13 classes a week, and it's not only physically exhausting, but at some point you have to look at, okay, what am I doing, and is it worth my time? Like, how many people am I really in front of, and is it benefiting my business, or am I doing it just to fill my ego and just to kind of feel like I'm doing a lot more? Because I think you and I are both type A personality. Like, we go, go, go. We do as much as we can do. We don't sit. And I know that there's a lot of coaches on my team who are listening right now, and they're not fitness instructors. We don't have a lot of fitness instructors, and that's fine. I'm not talking specifically to about a fitness instructor. I'm just saying there comes a point when you have to look at where your energy is going. Maybe it's through teaching Sunday school, and you really dread teaching Sunday school, or maybe it's helping out with your kids' PTO organization or whatever. There are certain things you have to look at to say, okay, this is maybe either physically exhausting me or mentally exhausting me or taking my energy away, and that's an hour or 2 hours that I could be putting for my business. And
that's so true. I must say, and there's like 3 different things I was thinking of when you were talking about that. With classes, there's a couple classes that I only have like 2 or 3 people in them, and they are so close, dear friends to me, that I've come to a realization that they're not going to not be friends with me if I stop teaching. And they're going to understand that they can go to the other places that I'm teaching.
Right.
So that's one thing. 2, when it comes to spending your time wisely, I've come to the realization that why would I spend my time doing something that I hate? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's not like we're kids in high school and we have to go to that. We are in charge of our choices and our decisions. And you might have signed up for something, and then you realize, you know what, this is not right for me, and this is not the right time, and I hate doing this. Like, there's a couple classes, and I won't say, but I have to travel pretty far. I dislike driving that far. They're going to be off my list soon, not because I hate the people, but because it's not fun anymore to go that far away, when if they really wanted to come to my class, if it's about me, which really it shouldn't be about me because it's their class, they can find another instructor and they're going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And I will be happier. So we should both win, you know what I mean? Because so for that's another thing. The third thing I was thinking about is, not just only like things that kind of take up your time or make you happy, but like just even like the people that you spend your time with, if they are not making you a better person or happier or whatever, the best decision I ever made, and I know this is kind of off topic, was to remove myself from that toxic person. It was sucking me dry, and I was spending so much energy in that toxic area that I was like, why am I doing this? Mm-hmm. And so I learned through personal development, which is huge, that you want to surround yourself and do the things that are going to either grow your business and make you a better person and make you happier. So, I know you mentioned like PTO. Somebody shoot me if I had to be on the PTO. I don't have time for that. Like, it doesn't benefit me. Other mom can do that, like, or dad. It's just not my thing. Don't make me a Girl Scout troop leader. My husband tried to sign me up for that, and he'll never forget it because I.
Oh.
Sorry.
Probably use my voice.
And the neighbors, they decided to go outside. Like, they were allowed to do that right now. Hang on. Stop. Okay. You're done. Go back to bed.
Too funny.
Fine.
I love it when he's in your photos.
Yeah, he's pretty crazy. He's been kind of like not hanging out with me lately, and I think I'm taking offense to it. I don't know why he's not wanting to work out with me. So, there you go.
All right. So I want to talk a little bit about personal development and how you fit personal development into your day. Are you a podcaster or a reader or both?
I'm both. I love podcasts. In fact, I kind of gave up the radio because I teach classes. I hear all that pop music all day long, and I'm like, I don't want to hear that song ever again.
Yeah.
So instead of listening to the radio, I will put a podcast in. Shalene's one of my favorite ones. There's a couple other ones. The team call, the National Wake Up Call, sometimes I'll listen to, unless they're announcing who's going to win the team cup, and then I'll get on 20 minutes early and let my phone run. So, but yeah, I love podcasts. I do love books. I do love books, so I do both. But I would say the majority of my personal development comes from podcasts because I love to hear the person speaking. And there's something about somebody saying it versus me reading it that sometimes hits home a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So that works for me.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So for those of the people on the call, when did you say you started as a coach? What year?
2010.
Okay. So we probably started about the same time then. Mm-hmm. And that's how you and I met was Julie actually partnered us up as success partners or accountability partners back then. And so, what I think is interesting is, we see people, or my coaches are going to see you on here and they're going to think like, okay, she's got 3 diamonds. She's shooting for 7-star. And so what I want to do is kind of bridge that gap and show them, kind of talk a little bit about the obstacles that you've overcome specifically over the course of the last 4 or 5 years. So obviously, you and I have talked a lot about, this is the position I'm in right now. And it can be a little stressful. So I don't want people that, especially my new coaches, to see this and think that 7-star just happens overnight or 3-star just happens overnight. So can you talk a little bit about like whether or not it's specific or not is up to you, but any obstacles that you've had to overcome in your business to get to where you're at?
I will say the very first obstacle was being shy, or me just thinking I was shy. Like I just use it as a crutch. Yeah, I'm not going to be the one that's going to go up to everybody new at a party and talk to them, but that doesn't mean that I'm shy. Like that was the first thing I had to get over. I kind of had to get over myself a little bit. And so that was one. The next one was kind of fear. Like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. It's like almost like I can't, like mode of saying I can't do that. Like I could never eat broccoli. Well, I really can't have broccoli. It makes me sick, but like something else. I can't ever, I hear this all the time, even from my coaches. I could never get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So like the can't syndrome of saying I can't when you just really either A, don't want to do it, or B, it's outside your comfort zone. So kind of getting outside of that and that fear of just the dumb things, the fear of excuses. We just have so many excuses. So I kind of let those things, just kind of live them out of no excuses, no fear. The first year that I really committed to the business was when we had the Disney trip the following year. So that was a Success Club trip. And I was darn well determined that I was going to earn that trip for my family. And so I just was like, I'm going to do it no matter what it takes. I'm going to earn Success Club every month so that I can get my kids to Disney for the first time. And it happened and it was amazing. So that was an obstacle. Once I went to Diamond, I think some of the obstacles was learning, not necessarily that, it was learning how to teach my coaches how to do this on their own. It's not hard. None of this work is hard. It was just learning how to do it. So it was just new. Mm-hmm. It's just new work that's not hard because you're doing the same thing. You're just now in charge of more people and leading these people. So again, it's not hard. It's just getting through the mindset of doing something different.
Right.
It's like for me going from insanity to asylum. Asylum wasn't hard. It was just so different. And this ladder and this jump rope and all this other stuff, it wasn't harder. It was just different. And so it was just getting through that beginning hump of learning a new, some new skills.
Yeah. And that brings up a really good point that I want to make too. Last year at Summit, the theme of last year's, for Beachbody last year was never give up. Mm-hmm. Carl, the CEO, stood up on stage in his closing remarks and told the story. And of course it was probably like, I'm going to miss part of it, but some famous pilot or something was asked, what would you do if you were flying a plane and that plane was the engine went out or something goes out and they're headed straight for like a canyon wall. Like, what would you do? And the guy said, I'd try something else. And Carl said, no, like if you were really literally like the nose of your plane was literally about to hit the canyon wall, what would you do? Like, what would be the last thing you would do? And the guy says, I would try something else. And he gets asked the same thing over and over, and he continues to say, I try something else. And I think that that's a powerful story because, especially coming right out of the Team Cup, I can tell you that a lot of the leaders on the Diamonds page were asking, like, well, how were you guys able to secure 200 points? And I asked my girls on fire, I asked them, I said, what do you think made the difference? And they said, we were constantly trying something else.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we started to feel stuck, as soon as we started to feel like there was no way Success Club was going to happen, we call it 3 Lives Club. As soon as we felt like 3 Lives Club wasn't going to happen or 5 Lives Club wasn't going to happen, you just simply try something else.
Right.
And that's kind of what you're saying is get out of your own head of what the can't syndrome and kind of decide, okay, what can I do that's completely out of the box here? What can I try that's new?
Yeah.
So,
well, and a lot of it is not even necessarily different than what your other coaches are doing. I will say in the beginning, I got a lot of no's and this is and that's, and the people just didn't understand what we were doing. And I can tell you, not giving up and just being consistent pays off. Because like I have a coach right now who doesn't really want to work the business that much, doesn't care about Diamond, but had Success Club 12 last month. So I'm not sure, like seeing like I guess letting them know that you have to be consistent and you have to just do the things that you're supposed to be doing. And those seeds that she planted 4 months ago where she got a lot of no's all paid off in the month of February. Like, and it's like a light bulb moment. Like, I promise everybody here, if you are consistent and not just one time every week, but consistent, it's going to pay off. And you're not going to be a 7-star diamond by the end of the year. You won't. New coaches probably most likely will not happen. And that's okay because you got to go to Emerald and then that's awesome. And then you get to the next level, which is probably Diamond, and that's awesome. And then you learn all these new skills along the way. You're not supposed to go from coach to 7-star. There's this whole big middle part that is this awesome journey that that's where all the growth happens and the awesomeness and all these people that you meet and the life-changing stuff happens in here. And it doesn't happen from here to here at these points. It's all in the middle that counts. So yeah, I guess that's where I'm like, you just can't quit. Like some people are like, well, I tried 1 week and it didn't work, so I quit. I'm like, I would still be a coach if there was no business because I want the freaking discount in Shakeology. So regardless of this whole awesome business thing that we have, I would still be a coach because I don't want to pay full price. Right. So it's awesome that we do have it.
Yeah. Well, and I was just talking to Julie yesterday, and she, as April and I were just talking before we hit the record button, Julie's going to hit 12-star this week, and she's got a big goal of hitting 15-star this year. It's going to happen because she's decided it's going to happen. But she said something which I found relatable, which was that the reason it hasn't, she said she's been feeling like she should be 15-star for a long time. So you could be feeling like you should be Diamond and you should have been Diamond for a long time if you're listening to this call. But what she's finding is now that she is almost there, she's realizing that the reason it hasn't happened is because she wasn't ready yet. Because her journey hasn't led her to the point where she's ready to lead that many people or ready to lead in the right capacity. And I think that's so true. And I think it goes from my journey. I can say the same thing. You get frustrated because you want the rank advancement or you want the recognition or whatever it is. But you're not ready yet. And the last thing you want is to have your business grow faster than you do.
Oh, absolutely.
So I love that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I want to make sure we wrap it up soon because I know you're going to have to go. But one thing I want to ask is obviously as your business is growing and your customer base is growing and your coaches your team is growing, what are some ways? Do you do a monthly newsletter, or what are some ways that you keep in touch with your team and your customers?
I with my customers, I guess the challengers that are constantly doing, I'm always in contact. Like they're constantly doing workouts that I know of. I'm constantly in contact with them. For my coaches, I am on our coach team page. And then I will work privately with the coaches that want to work the business, like having the team calls and things like that. I don't do like a weekly team call with everybody, because not everybody's obviously going to get on it, and that's okay. But like mainly the people that want to work the business, I've learned I can't drag people that say they want to reach their goals, but never show up on a call and never do any of the little stuff, because all that little stuff is what matters the most. Right. Than the one big thing that you do once a month. But it's all that I kind of just work closely with like the leaders and the ones that want to work their business. Mm-hmm. So that's what I do.
Okay. What about advice we have at least, I would say at least 10 or so shooting for diamond in the next couple of months on our team. So what would be your advice, your top advice for someone pursuing diamond?
For one, that's awesome. So congratulations. I think that's an awesome goal to have. It's highly achievable. My best advice is to set that goal, set a date, and do the work every single day. It's going to happen. It will happen, but don't put so much pressure on yourself that you have to just get them as coaches. Really, really get to know those people, find out their why, which is what we teach with challenge groups and things like that. And you will, and lead really good challenge groups. And those people will naturally transition into coaches. And, just, I guess the best advice is do the work and invite them to the business opportunity. This is probably one thing that I need to improve. And it's okay to admit they're not failures, but the things that I need to work on, is inviting to the business more versus just getting them to the challenge. Because I obviously love health and fitness. So I do what's easy. So step outside your comfort zone, do a few things that are a little harder or that seem uncomfortable, and you're gonna grow your team. It's gonna happen. So
yeah, and if you don't know this already, April and I are leading another, what is this, our 67th sneak peek group?
7,000th.
Another sneak peek group for the business opportunity. It starts today. Mm-hmm. So I can always count on, if April hasn't made a post at 6 a.m., I know it's my turn.
Yeah. Yeah, we work well together. So.
All right. Last but not least, in the tone and the spirit of the National Wake Up Call, which I know you will soon be on, tell me, what has Beachbody done for you and your family?
Wow. Good question. I was a stay-at-home mom, and we struggled financially. I don't want to cry. I wasn't expecting this question. We struggled financially with just day-to-day bills, things like that with our family. I went to school to be a teacher, and I learned that I like kids. I just don't want to teach them all day long. So I stayed at home with my kids, and I kind of struggled to find where I fit in and what kind of job I wanted to do. And so finding Beachbody has been just life-changing in the fact that, for one, I can take pressure off of my husband for financially providing for us for everything. I have a daughter that's in competitive dance, and it's super, super expensive. And so to be able to covering the little stuff and just helping my husband out financially has been life-changing. The second part is the people that I've met through Beachbody. Without Beachbody, I highly doubt I would be friends with Jenny or any of these other people that I have become so close with. So doing something that involves our health, which everybody needs, and meeting all these people and growing as a person and kind of finding out who I am and what my role is in life to help other people, and the passion has been life-changing too. I don't wake up every morning to go to a 9-to-5 job that I hate. In fact, I see on Facebook all the time these moms or these teachers like, oh, good, a 2-hour delay. And I'm like, yeah, that's great, but I would hate to wake up every morning and think that is exciting for me. So, and nothing against teachers, but that's just what I see right now with all the snow. So I just am so thankful to wake up every morning and know that I can work where, this doesn't feel like work, by the way, but I can work anywhere I want to from my phone. I can change lives, and it's just the beginning. This Beachbody thing is just the beginning. And when you have a challenger that say is off their medication for the first time, or you have a challenger that can go outside and play with their kids for the first time because they finally have their energy, or you have a new person just reached out to you through Facebook that you maybe were kind of friends with, that says, thank you, you've gotten me out of this depressive slump with your motivating posts, that makes the difference. I mean, I'm so thankful that I found this in my life. And again, it came into my life when it was supposed to come in my life. It wasn't supposed to come into my life when my kids were 2 and 3. It was meant to come in when it was supposed to come into. And it's just, I can't wait to see where it goes. I'm just so excited about it. So
yeah. Well, I'm proud of you. I think you're going to rock this this year. I think 2015 is going to be a big year for everybody. And I know I'm excited about On Demand. I'm excited about, I mean, the company is just amazing. I mean, I know we don't talk a lot about the company because we are relationship marketing. So we are about people and running challenge groups, but I'm somewhat in love with Carl Deichler. I have a little bit of a crush, an entrepreneurial crush on him. But I think that the company that we're representing is brilliant. And what they're doing in health and fitness is brilliant. So we've got good places to go, and I'm excited for you, and I'm excited we're friends. And I'm so glad that you took time today to chat with my team. So.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and close it up. I will send you, I upload this to YouTube, and then I'll send you the link. So I'll post it to my team, and then I'll send it to you in case you want to share it to your team.
All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Otherwise, I'll see you, 3 Vital Behaviors?
Yeah, that's coming up. A couple weeks. All right, see you later.
Thanks, April.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.